I turned to my wife one final time to say my goodbye and tell her that in heaven we would meet. As I had done that day, the light had turned out on our love the day she died. When I noticed from her hand water was dripping, and then I looked upon her body to her face and noticed she was dripping with water, she began to scream with pain that no death could produce without instant death. Then her body split open and the water, blood and guts shed to the ground, and left standing was the black-hooded man. You insipid human! You thought you had slain me! Had you not realized how I had stolen your soul without ever touching you? Do you think that the soul is such that it can be wished away? I have been inhabiting this skin for such a time, and when we lay together but a week or more ago, whilst you slept, I surgically removed your soul. I punched my way through your fatty tissue and rummaged around till I found it, and pulled it away from its contacting vessels, and then it was mine, and I fed upon it, darling. Then my soul shall be your last. Then the soul catcher scoffed at my remarks. You little puny human, you piece of human filth, of putrid blood and bone, you hold no threat for one such as I. I had walked this earth an age, and you have the audacity to threaten me. With that he pulled up his hand, and I was thrown to the ground, and yet his hand never touched me. Then before I could get up from the dirt below, little worm-like insects and creepy crawlies invaded my body. Within a matter of seconds, hundreds of tiny little insectoid feet and slimy bodies crawled and slimed all over my body. I jumped up and tried my best to remove these insects from my ears and arms and legs, and wherever they found themselves. You once said to me that my soul is yours, and your soul is mine. I tried to take your life then, but now I shall sacrifice mine to end yours now. From my pocket I pulled out a sharp piece of rock that I had shaped like a knife. I thought it very apt to use that of the earth that now lay spinning towards death about the stars. From that whence we had come would save us now. The black-hooded man said nothing. I saw his eyes closely watch the hand in which the knife was clutched, and then it dawned upon me. He wanted me to kill myself. That was it. That was how he would gain my soul, how the transfer would take its place when I had died a sacrificial death, and my soul would be his. I lifted up the knife high into the sky above me. With that he jumped up towards me and placed his spindly fingers upon the knife and pushed it down straight through the side of my body, stripping off one layer of my skin, revealing my rib cage. Blood spurted out, and I screamed in agony. This shall be the last death. Your pain is that of all man, and my dominance shall be supreme. He launched his head, teeth first, through my rib cage, and stretching back up in his mouth he had one of my internal organs. I guessed at a glance it was a kidney. Veins still attached were soon cut by his sharp teeth, while he chewed away. I launched my knife straight within beneath where I might imagine his heart to be, and with it I was transfixed with an electrical pulse. I could feel the electricity flowing within my body. We were both encaged within this electricity that emanated from his body. I imagined it to be the energy from all the souls he had devoured over time. The pain was excruciating. I could feel my body swell up like a balloon. My eyes bulged as the electricity of souls poured from his body to mine, but I knew I had to contain him, for whilst I pushed the knife within him, he grew weaker as the souls were set free. "What is this?" he screamed, almost in agony. "This is what you have given. This is the taste of death that you have served to mankind, and I serve it back to you." I pushed the knife in further, as his hands tried to grapple onto me and pull me off, but his strength was declining, but so too was my body. I could feel the heat burn my very skin. I looked towards my feet to notice that my legs were red and blistered. All over they had the appearance of one who had gangrene. They were swollen and were fixed in the ground, much like a statue, as my skin caught alight. I pushed the knife further in, screaming as I did so. As my eyes began to heat up, I could take the pain no longer, but it had to remain so. I couldn't give up until he was dead. Although he was weak, he still showered considerable strength. I felt absolute fear as his body towered over mine, being so close to him, his sinister face shrouded in that hood looking down upon me. But I held on to him with such determination. He placed his spindly fingers through my shoulder bone and tried to shake me off him. But I held on to him like I had held on to no one before. I shouted at him, screamed with all my anger, building up my strength to kill him. "No!" he screamed over and over again, and he fell to his knees. The flames from me started to ignite him, and he began to burn alive as I was. He screamed and writhed in absolute agony, as if he had never experienced any pain before. His death was the most agonizing I had to watch. His face etched on my memory of his teeth gnawed at his lips, his hands scratching into the ground as he bore the pain of his death, his eyes looking up at me with absolute fear. And then the light from his body ceased, and he was no more. I had a chance to see him die, and I felt myself leaving this world as well. I saw the creature disappear into the thin air, and then the world, like a cage, opened up. As the clouds dissipated and the sun shone again on this enchanting earth, I fell to my knees with a smile on my face. I could hear my heart slowing down in my ears, my breathing becoming more difficult, the sweat of my forehead sizzling on my charred body. I fell to the ground facing the sky, my eyes burning in the light above, the beats of my heart slowing down further still. My chest began to go tight. Then another beat. I looked up to the sky and saw a bird flying high above three. Another thud of my heart beated. I felt dizzy and the world leaving my sight as my final heart beat sounded.